Well, good morning, everybody. And as we start off this Friday, my main story in the report today really focuses on the new long-range update for the month of October. I want to review some of the stuff we talked about in last night's in-depth forecast, but just kind of show you this summary graphic. This is the European model forecast for the time period of September 25th to October 25th, and I've just kind of labeled a few places around the world that I'm watching. If we just start over here on the left side of the image, we do see above average rains possibly coming into parts of Ukraine, getting into maybe Romania, Belarus, and then parts of the kind of the very western side of the Russian wheat belt. And if above normal rains do come in here, while it could hamper some harvest efforts, it could improve the winter wheat planting that's going on in this area. So that's one area we're going to keep an eye on. Secondly, there is still a late monsoonal surge coming into parts of India, could hit the Ganges River Valley pretty hard. We need to keep an eye on that, while much of southeast China continues to see record dryness in the forecast. Models are consistent with the behavior of this La Nina and kind of the stuck position of the MJO here overall, just continuing to deliver better moisture in parts of Queensland, New South Wales, and Victoria over the next 10 to 15 days and beyond. And it could be drier near Perth. So we're just thinking here about what these spring rains might mean for the start of the growing season, while much of winter was above normal in terms of precipitation for Australia. In the United States, again, the longer range forecasts continue to show quite favorable harvest forecast weather, the wild cards, of course, being any shot at some cooler conditions that could cause a frost. We'll talk about that in a second. And then also the tropical systems that could form. We're watching Fiona right now, but this area that's quite dry in the lower Mississippi River Basin, parts of the Mid-South into the southeast, that's an area that could fail just based on one tropical system that could form that we just can't resolve out that far at this point. And lastly, if you come down to South America, a couple of very important things here. The longer range models just continue to show a lot of support for above normal rains here for the start of the growing season, which began yesterday for planting. And if those rains do manifest themselves and really come in quickly, and they get about 2 inches in the ground, they're going to really push quickly, I think, through planting progress. While southern Brazil and Argentina continue to struggle, especially far southern Brazil and Argentina continue to struggle with some spring drought issues. Okay, from there, let's go take a look at what we call the Mesoscale floater. This is where the GOES 16 satellite really focuses in and gives you 1 minute resolution data on a tropical system. Now, in last night's video, we talked about how there was a bit of a decoupling of the circulation with the deeper convection in Fiona. And this morning, to be honest, they're looking a bit closer in relation. So that could be a signal for some strengthening here as it approaches the Lesser Antilles, which are these islands here. The National Hurricane Center's morning update, though, suggests that this is going to stay as a tropical storm, and over the next 5 days, so getting us out there to next Wednesday, we'll be going over the island of Puerto Rico into Hispaniola, and then eventually here toward the Bahamas. And that's where we're going to have to pick things up, because like we discussed last night, the model spread is still substantial. One of the bigger changes in the 0Z European model is now a bit more of a favored track farther to the north, which, as we discussed, it's all about the placement of the ridge over the next week in the south, mid-south, and southeast, and then that system that drags a front through here, which I'll show you in a few moments, possibly picking up this system at Fiona and keeping it out to open ocean. The latest from the GFS is quite similar. The GFS has been more consistent with this, I think, overall, but both models exhibit very large spread in the forecast going out there beyond 5 days. So this is going to be something we're going to monitor all weekend long. Okay, over the next few days, we do watch for some severe storms in the plains today here in Nebraska, and then as we go into the day on Saturday, it's going to move over to kind of the western Corn Belt, a little bit farther there from Kansas and Nebraska and Iowa. And then here on day 3, there's still the possibility for some stronger storms that could come into kind of the tri-state area of Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri. We're going to watch out for all of these things. Good way to have a good look at it is just go straight to the high-res NAM. So we've got 2 systems. The lead system here this morning producing this area of showers and thunderstorms with heavier rains farther to the north, kind of stretched out on a frontal boundary that runs right here along the U.S.-Canada border over the northern Great Lakes. So that area could see quite a bit heavy rainfall as we work our way through the day today. Now this evening, the second wave comes out of Wyoming, so some rain that could move into parts of Montana, but it'll be the storms in western Nebraska we're going to keep a very close eye on. So you can kind of get these 2 main areas of precipitation. Florida's also expecting a lot of storms, and at the end of this animation, look what comes in here into this part of California. There's a cutoff low that's going to show up by Saturday evening. It's also at that point that the second wave could deliver storms, as you see, moving through the Midwest, and those could also still be here getting into the day on Sunday as well. So these two systems are pretty slow moving, and they run into this broader front that's sitting here south of Ontario. Now, out west in California, we could see some relatively heavy rainfall from this cutoff low through much of northern California, maybe 1.5 inches in some locations. There's also going to be a big surge of moisture coming up here, kind of helped along by that tropical wave coming through the Four Corners states, possibly delivering more rainfall here as we watch another big low come racing through the Canadian prairie, and again dragging a front right here through the United States. Now, if you're south of all of this or east of all of it, this whole region is going to be relatively dry, of course, pending that Fiona misses. All right, so this is a large area that's going to continue to see drier weather. So let's go take a quick look at that on the European model. We've already seen through Sunday, so let's pick it up right here. This is Sunday afternoon. Okay, cutoff low. We see the frontal boundary stretched out here, and there's Fiona on the European. As we play this forward into Monday afternoon and evening, you can see the main front sags into New England. We can see the cutoff low here delivering rain through Monday evening into California, Fiona's position over the island of Hispaniola, and our next system trying to take shape here right there in the northern Canadian prairie. Now watch this one up here. As we play through next Tuesday into Wednesday, I'll rock back and forth there on Tuesday, Wednesday. You can see this rather vigorous front that it drives through parts of the Midwest. We're going to watch out for some stronger storms here. As that occurs, that's the front we're going to watch for the timing of it as it moves through the East Coast, especially parts of New England, and eventually pushes what could, Fiona where it could be back out to open ocean. At this point, the remnants of a tropical system have moved through the Baja and are now causing some heavy rain to stretch into this part of the Southwest into the Intermountain West. And it's the high pressure behind this next Friday morning that I'm concerned about for the frost potential in this area. So we'll have to watch for that quite carefully. Until then, take a look at these temperatures. Here's today's highs, getting into tomorrow on Saturday and Sunday. So the cooler weather we're seeing up here, cloud cover and rain, cooler across the west due to the trough developing, but watch the heat come back on in the midsection of the country while that upper level low just cools things way off here. So that's more than a 40-degree swing in temperatures from earlier in September here in parts of Sacramento. So this is Monday's highs into Tuesday, so a lot of heat. This is midsummer. This would be hot for midsummer coming in here. But that front I'm watching next Wednesday, Thursday. See it slicing through here? There could possibly increase our chances for frost, but not until probably next Friday morning. You can already see the models are hinting at getting temperatures below freezing right here at that point. So what I'll be watching for is next Friday morning, the probability of getting those low temperatures in the 30s. That's where we start to see it showing up here. And this could move in to the upper Midwest and Great Lakes states as well. So let's keep a close eye out on this going out there that far. Other than that, though, this is the probability through the next 10 days of getting 1 inch of rain. Inside of this area, though, quite dry overall. But take a look at the probabilities here in California. A lot of precipitation possible with this cutoff low. It's also going to be quite wet along this corridor as well. Where I'll finish is just that longer range outlook on temperatures. So you can see the cooler air arriving as we approach the end of that third week of September, and then get into the fourth week, we get a rebound in those temperatures. And that really kind of mimics what we saw in the new CPC updates for the month of October, which I put in today's report as well, so take a look at those. Okay, have a good rest of your day and weekend, and we'll talk on Monday. Thanks.